Hold up. You know what time it is. Your favorite rapper's time, your favorite movie star's time, your favorite actor's time, your favorite actress's time under Movie Star. Just to let you know, if you ain't know, it's all rights reserved, greatest nation since United Nations. Let's get into this. Whoa! Woo! The groupie bus. The groupie bus. What? The groupie parties. I mentioned this, right? So comes out today, Lay. We get a shout out for you. We get a shout up for you. I looked into something and I kept looking. I found this video where someone was talking about there was a well-known situation that the groupie line, whatever you call it, groupie list, however said, it'll be in the title. The title will have the official name. And this person, who I don't know who it is, even mentioned that X was involved in the situation. Now, let me ask this, to each their own. Why should he feel some sort of way for him being involved? But let me ask this. Was there someone that was a groupie but wanted to be wifey for the situation of a come up, but didn't get the wifey features because they were known and first celebrated as a groupie, and they ain't like that? Is that a possible thing? Is that a possible thing? Come on, let's keep it real. Who was really wifey and who was just a groupie? How are you putting it down to not be a groupie compared to everyone else? And we're flying through. You know the sound effects. We're flying through right now. We took flight a minute ago. Tell me right now, was someone really a groupie? Now let me say this. If I love to watch adult entertainment because YouTube guidelines, then would that synonymous factor when I'm finding so many of the alleged groupies that were part of this institution of how to be a groupie / adult entertainer for life, since one of them's ranked in the top 30, not saying no names, yes, one of them's ranked in top 30, okay? Would that make sense why someone was trying to get wifed, but they were never wifed because of their behavior being synonymous with that of a groupie? Interesting dialogue. It makes sense because I see a woman's touch. I don't know who from who, I don't know why, but I do see a woman's touch. Is this a probable reason? Let's be real. Is this a probable reason? If I know I'm supposed to be getting shown love above someone else, and say another groupie comes along, and this groupie does what I does better, in a scenario that appeals most, would that not make me second tier, and would jealousy and revenge not become a common thread? Be real. Let's be realistic. That makes sense to me. I don't know about y'all. That makes sense to me. Everybody couldn't have been wifey. That's impossible, especially if you're at the same places I'm going to. I randomly meet you, and I know what's happening. I know what it is. So why would I put you on a pedestal when I know what it is, and I'm some type of superstar that gets acclaim, and there's a lot of groupies, quote unquote, that want to be around me? You see, that's where I was looking for it to go, and I found the last piece of evidence that supports this theology. And again, I speak about it this way because there's a commenter, obviously, that knows what I'm talking about. Not just Lay. I'm giving Lay the shout out because she gave me the heads up like, hey, keep looking. The support that I needed to find this. I'm being realistic. If I find this and I'm reading over it and I'm like, why would he pick this special person? But wait, if there's a bunch of groupies, I'm pretty sure there were badder groupies than a lot of the girls claiming that they're wifey. Let's be real. There were badder groupies around because there was opportunity. Wherever there's opportunity, there's a slot around to try your luck in. Trust me, that makes sense. Especially in a scenario we're looking at, dealing with a Rolling Stone. But let me keep it authentic for you. How does this link up with the industry that we know as adult entertainment? It links up because if someone made it to top 30 that was allegedly around the situation, How do I know a lot of others are in similar scenarios? Maybe not in the same clique, but in different ways. Or some didn't make the cut, and now they're no longer here to speak about it. Doesn't that make sense? I don't know. It's just a thought to me when I'm looking through this. What are your thoughts? Let's be real. CommenterNation, we've been looking all around this. This is the most prevalent piece of information that lets me know that whoever screams I'm wifey may not have been wifey, and that it may make sense for the different arguments and debates and delegations, and the love may be fake. The love may be fake. I was on TheCzarr Report today, and I was enlightened. I was enlightened to a new degree. They say keep your enemies close, but some of my greatest enemies became my best friends. That makes sense. Shout out to TheCzarr for that. That makes perfect sense. And it makes sense why, too. You see, that's what I'm saying, back to our narrative. Was there a friend that wasn't really a friend? And enemies who people deemed to have been issue really there and had your back on the low. Woo! 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 On my Ric Flair. You know what it is. On my Ric Flair. Let's be real. What do you think? I think that makes perfect sense. Matter of fact, that would explain everything to a T. Because what happens, never mind. It really, let's just say this, it lessens the steps that spiral in the rabbit hole to find some sort of understanding. It really does. Matter of fact, it actually opens up an understanding that we had discussed openly many times, that has been narrated to us by guests on the show. And it now makes perfect sense. Was somebody upset that they weren't winning a certain way? Let's say there was a male with feminine traits and he was upset. Could that have led to this absolutely same scenario? I say it's absolutely a possibility. If they say their favorite groupie came over, that usually was with them, but they came over and saw these other guys and was like, wait, I'm a groupie. Time for me to do my groupie thing. Would they be sticking around with the same person? Let's go. This is an environment. We're talking about an environment that is literally influencing bad behavior. See, and that would have stunted my growth for me to take bad behavior and turn bad vibes into the best and most positive scenario. That's the ideology I'm seeing. What groupie wanted it out? Is it possible a groupie wanted it all gone? Said, you ain't picked me, fine. You can't have no one. And did that type of thing in that scenario to one of these women that are no longer here. And I'm talking about in a situation where did a groupie plot a full surface situation to try and come up off of it and was like, I'm going to have a baby and I'm going to be in this situation. I'm going to do that. Is that possible? Let me ask this. Has there ever in the history, to your knowledge, been a time where a woman had a baby by a man who did not want it? Has that ever been possible? If that happened that way, would that cause tension? We're talking about a groupie bust, a groupie event. And they're saying that it's celebrated, which means that it's celebrity attendance on fleek, which means on full, aka the norm, aka that's what they're looking for, aka you get it whether you want it or not. The groupie love, the theory of love from a groupie. Because in a superstardom way, there's a lot of different women competing. Was someone not willing to settle for the outcome of a competition and took matters into their own hands? Think about it. Is this a possibility? Shout out to all our haters. I got enough enemies that are friends, that have turned into best friends, actually. Be real. Be real. Let me add this. If you're someone that tries to force love when someone doesn't love you, you're a simp. You're a loser. And you need to get up on something. You're a simp. You're a loser. And you need to get up on something. You see, just like women allegedly trap men, there's some men that try and trap women. Just like the loser simps. They are. That's a fact. You know how I rock. You know what we do here. You know everything we do is based on something. Where'd this scenario play in? Where'd it play up? Put it in the comments below. You know how I rock. Get ready for tomorrow. All rights reserved.